Let's see if the connection will hold because here it's always very, very difficult. All right. So, hello everyone. Uh, Thanks for joining. I hope you're having a great day or great evening in US. I guess Europeans are the people in Europe are sleeping at the moment, and Asia it's kind of morning time. So I decided just to make this quick live and kind of reflect on the tournament I had and maybe share some thoughts while it's still fresh, and I'm still under all these impressions and the mixed feelings. I think this is always interesting to talk about and share, and maybe um, it can give you some ideas on how it will look like, the first time you play, because I know in many places around the world there was still not no like competitions, maybe some like exhibition matches like in Serbia. I know they organized already, and I know Damir Džumhur and Krajinovic and these guys, they played already a couple of exhibition matches, and soon there's going to be an actual tournament they're organizing. But it's super fun to play after so long, and it just felt amazing. So thanks so much for joining. Now we are live also on YouTube. So if you have any questions related to this topic, I'm now zoned in on that. And yeah, just to share a couple of thoughts, how it went, the whole tournament and all the matches, and what I learned from that, and you know some lessons, and what I think I can improve as well, and also what I've seen from other players, and yeah, the whole experience. So I will kind of try to look through the comments, because we have different platforms now, but I'm not going to be able to answer on all the questions, but I will try. Is there any difference between green clay and red clay courts? Uh, not too much, I would say. It just depends on the clay itself. So even the red clay courts can be different, like among like between themselves. Depends on the size of those little pieces of clay and how they arrange the courts. But the green clay and red clay it's kind of similar. They're green. Just doing ankle rehab. Okay, DM is recovering. All right. Uh, what grip tape do you use? I use Torna grips. It's the purple grip right here. All right. So thanks for being here. Overall, it was very successful. The past few days, I was participating in this local prize money tournament here in Shanghai, and there were officially it was 16. Like the draw was for 16 players, and I was kind of told that they would just choose the players. Like if when you sign up, they will choose the players based on certain criteria. They will check the past results and maybe the rankings, whatever. But and at the end there were like 24 players signed up, so they made like a qualifications round where there was like 16 players playing, and then like the 8 players would qualify for main draw to join the other 8 players, and yeah, I was put as a second seed, and this was based on the I guess on the world rankings. They first counted the pro ranking like for the past year, and then after that it was the ITF for juniors. So I was seeded number 2, and but there were still many great players and also some coaches who are also playing actively, like training for themselves. So it was super fun, even though like sometimes, I mean, when you go there, you still don't know 90% of the players. So it's also exciting in terms of you don't know what to expect. So you go there, and no matter who is the opponent, like you just have to focus on your side of the court, on your game, and see where that takes you. But yeah, I just wanted to say from the beginning, it was very exciting, just going into a tournament after so long. And to be honest, I wasn't too prepared in terms of playing matches and playing like on this a bit higher level, because lately I've been coaching like juniors and even like some younger players. So I didn't really play on on the highest level, but I managed to maintain those fitness trainings daily, so I was ready in terms of that. And luckily I was able to quickly get back, and I think it was great. The first match played against Christian, one of my players, and it was very exciting and fun. And he's actually the best player in our club now, and I'm very proud of that. And I mean, I've been working with him for like 4 years now almost, and to see his progress and how he has been improving pretty much every day, it's really amazing. And then to see him kind of catch on all the other players from the club and even coaches. So he was, before, obviously 4 years ago, he's like 12 years old, 13 years old, 1 year later, and slowly like improving. But there were some coaches who were like beating him, maybe a year or 2 years ago. But recently he played with them again, and he was pretty much beating everybody. So even the coaches, except one coach in the club. So, but some like friendly matches that we played, he was getting close. And I even remember once we played and he won a set against me. And so, going into that match was also very exciting, playing against your best player. And there's some certain expectations, the pressure, very interesting, very unique, situation. And again, super fun and great experience. So that was the first match, the first round. And before that, he played a qualifying round. He won against some older, not older, I mean older than him player. They said it was very tough match. There were some like tough calls there on the other side, but good experience for him. And then when we started our match, it's very very unique again. But I was 100% focused, and honestly, I played like super serious because it's already the level. He's 16 years old now. It's already the level that if you relax a bit, or if he gets the momentum, you don't know, how if you can control it again. So you have to be 100%, and that's what I did. And I think he played pretty good. He was also nervous. I could tell that, and both of us could have like a bit better game, but overall was great. And after that, I played one Chinese coach and player. He used to play juniors before, and lately he's been coaching. But he's definitely in good shape. When I arrived to the courts, he was already there, um, like deep in the warm up routine. Like he was doing something with the elastic band, like for a long time, and it really looked like he's a pro. Again, I don't know most of these players here, so I didn't know what to expect. And then when we were going through the warm ups, you can kind of see, the ground strokes, the volley, the serves. It looked pretty high level. So again, I had to be 100% in and focus on each point. And it was definitely a bit tougher match than against Christian. So progressively, each match you were like, I had to play better and better and maintain the level. And I think that was great, like slowly starting and trying to increase your game. Definitely the biggest part of the game was my serves, and I think did great job with that because considering that in the last period I didn't have time to actually train for myself and do like the serves as I usually do. I was doing serves for those juniors, like when they worked on the returns, but that's like at the max maybe 50% power. So I didn't really work on that. And so, by the way, I just want to share all this, and so I can kind of give you some context, like so you can get the picture how everything felt, and then hopefully I can round everything up with certain conclusions and what are my takes from the whole experience. So this is why I want to tell you all the details so you can understand, and maybe for the next time you're going into the tournament, what you can expect. I think this can mean a lot. So again, I wasn't really training the serve, but since I went through the motions and I did the serves in those like 40 to 50% of power range, I think that also helped me to kind of still have some kind of consistency, And definitely the most consistent shot in this tournament was my serve, both first and second, and I'm very happy for that. And so that was the quarterfinal match, and I didn't lose the serve there. So the first two matches I didn't lose the serve, and then the semifinals I played against Tony. He's a junior player. This is his last year as a junior, so he's turning 18 this year, and currently he's ranked 130 in the world for juniors, and his highest ranking was 96 in the world, which is really, really impressive. And I used to train with him maybe 2 years ago. So, and there's a big difference. And even back then, we had some friendly matches where the set would go into the tie break, or, I had to be 100% in order to win. So I knew it's going to be tough. It's going to be a very challenging match. And yeah, that match went to the third set. So I lost the serve in the second set. There was one break. And then the super tie break, it was unbelievable. So much like pressure, and I was first 5-3 down, then 7-5 up, then 7-all, and it's like a few points decided. In the end, I managed to hold the nerves, and I'm very, very proud of that, especially for the serves. The biggest moments, you focus on that. You can deliver when it matters the most. So very happy for that. And yesterday there was a final against the number one seed, who is actually not a junior anymore. Now he's 20 years old, but he was ranked number 26 in the world for the junior players. And I talked to him after the match. Very nice guy, and it was a very, very nice conversation. Learned a lot there. So he used to play all the Grand Slams for juniors. So he went to all four Grand Slams, and at Australian Open he won the title in doubles. So he's actually the Australian Open champion, Grand Slam champion in doubles for juniors, and still, even in spite of that, he's so like humble. And when I asked him about that experience, and his response was like, "Man, we just got lucky. We just got lucky." I said, "How is this possible?" Almost every match went to the third set tiebreaker, and then it's like lucky. And I don't think it's lucky if so many times you win in this tiebreak. That means like there's something, like you're strong here mentally. And said, it's like we also got some nets, over the net, and it's nice to see like somebody on such a high level and still being down to earth, like not talking big, whereas you can still see or hear or whatever many players or even coaches like talking so big and really cannot back that up with their actual game and actual level and skills. So I really respect so much everybody who is so humble, and for me that's a sign of real quality. And if somebody's a champion or not, we're not talking about just being a champion, like winning those Grand Slams, like, and being the top 10 in the world. In my opinion, you don't need to be like top 10 or whatever to be a champion, like, or top 100. I think it's about the attitude and how you approach everything. And you know, your love for the game, the passion, and efforts, and all together. I think that's the sign of a true champion. Anyways, so his name, as I remember, is a Lingshi, something like this. It's not so easy for me to really pronounce it well because it's no, he's a Chinese. Sorry, I got a question. So he's from China, and he was part of the Chinese like the junior team, the national team. And as I said, he was ranked number 26. And then I even asked him about his the best wins. He had like the highest ranked players. He beat the top 10 junior player, so being the top 10 in the world. And he won against one of them. It's like in 3 sets, but one set he won was 6-0. He said it was the best set he ever played. And he also played the pro circuit. He played, I think, 1 or 2 years. He got to the ranking 800, but he didn't play too much. And I even asked what was the highest ranked player. He said he beat like a top 100 or 150. So top 150 ATP player, he beat that level. So that means it's very high level. And I knew that. I mean, I knew the fact that he won the Australian Open doubles with juniors. I actually saw them play for a bit, and definitely knew it's going to be a very tough match. But still, I approached the match as I have a chance, especially because it's indoors, and I felt good on my serves. So I was thinking, if I manage to just hold the nerves and deliver good serves over and over again, I would at least have a chance, to get to the tiebreak in one set at least, and then, in a tiebreak, if I serve good again, maybe again have the advantage a bit. But he's a lefty. That's one like factor that it's a big factor that played a role in the overall you know the feel for the match, and even at the outcome. It's always tough to play lefties, especially if you didn't do it for a while. And also he was returning very well, even though I still managed to hit quite a few aces. Looking forward to watch the match. I still didn't get a chance and make the highlights. I think it was great. Unfortunately, I lost the serve once in the first set. I think at 2-all. It was deuce and add and deuce and add, and he came up with some amazing returns off the first serve. I was going to the net, and he passed me or something like this. Later, he said he got lucky. He got lucky with some returns there. Again, like being humble, really amazing. And the second set, I think I lost the serve. Also, like I think was it 3-2? Yeah, I was serving at three. Uh, yeah, somewhere around middle of the set, I lost the serve again. He passed me on the return, like with the return winner. So I couldn't do much there. He really played well. I didn't have one single break point, which is not good, but it's a sign that I have to improve the returns, definitely, which I already knew, but you definitely need to work more on that. I had maybe one game. One game was love 30. That was a good chance, and had some easier shots there. I felt a little bit under pressure, because I knew it's a huge opportunity, and this is the only part of the whole tournament and all the matches that I'm a little bit. I don't want to say disappointed. You cannot be disappointed. It's like first time after a long time, and I think it was overall great. The level was pretty solid, but the only thing that I felt, you know, I could do better, but it's still okay. You can work on that in the future. So that means that when the point starts and it's a big point, I felt always kind of a bit in a rush, or like I have to do something with every shot. I didn't feel comfortable with like just okay staying in the rally, one or two more, five more shots. But this is all also due to the fact that the other player, the opponent, is so solid from the baseline, and literally the better I play, the better they like he was playing. Like if I hit some super fast shots from the baseline, he would answer in the same way and move me even more. So in the end, it almost turned out that changing the rhythm and playing a bit slower shots, you know, can work better. But still, at that level, I mean, he's not inexperienced player, so he knows how to deal with all these shots. But yeah, it's just in the end, it was just one break each set, and it how it goes in men's tennis. You know, like 1 or 2 points can decide a break. If I manage to hold the serve, and then one set can go to tie break, and I win that, and then there is a super tie break. The third set was, the super tie break played up to 10 points. I believe there was also a chance, but still, there was a great atmosphere. A lot of people watching, cheering for me. From my club. It was just special. Unique situation. Something that I'm very grateful for. Those moments is something that makes a difference. Like all the hard work you're putting in, and then you have those matches. Even though it's like a local tournament, but you kind of experience that adrenaline there. You feel the pressure, and that's it. That's the game. So this is. I hope that you will have something like this soon. That you will have a tournament, and that you can come back strong. I think so. The first thing that, like, the conclusion for all this is that you want to prepare in the best way you can for this kind of tournament. Obviously, if you were not able to play tennis or play those matches, that's not in your control. But the point here is that you have the control over your fitness, over your preparation, so you're able to at least take care of that part. And that's exactly what I did. By the way, today is the day number 112. It's the rest day, but we'll see. Maybe I will do some stretching, maybe some plank. But that's under your control. You can prepare physically. You can do every single little detail to put yourself in the best position, to be ready, so you can go through those, like, first matches of the tournament first without injuries. That's number one. You don't want to go there, and then obviously it's going to be very intense. It doesn't matter the level you are at. Like, when you get a match, you're going to always push yourself much more, and that's the dangerous part. That's where you can get injured. So if you prepare physically for that, you're at least going to stay injury free, and you're going to be able to at least move well, which is so important. Like, moving well and preparing for each shot. If you do well the preparation, you work on all the things, not just the endurance. You need to work on the quickness, on strength, and all this flexibility. Stretching. I think that's also, like, very important, and this is under your control. So once you do that, it's much easier to kind of come back, when you're playing now the tournament after a long time. And definitely, I mean, if you have a chance, you can play some friendly matches beforehand, before the tournament. This is something I lacked, I didn't do, but I kind of managed to come back, and gradually, match after match, I think I was also raising my game, the level, and just feels so good. Feels so good. Cannot wait to share the highlights. There were some amazing points. I was playing a lot of serving and volleying and trying to come up to the net. Really having so much fun with that. I would like to see more players do this, like, a bit different style, not just like playing from the baseline. It's just so much more fun. You can have many more different points, and you can get creative. What happens there, how you approach the net, when you approach it, or different types of shots. You can dive for certain volleys, which I also did. Ended up on the ground a few times. Yeah, it was just so much fun. So let me see if I can read a few questions. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was talking a bit longer, but I will try to read some comments, maybe reply. So first, I'm gonna check somebody from Instagram. We have some question here. cool. Wow. Okay. Um, Always enjoy the knowledge and videos you give for us, for other pros. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Do you get ranking points for the tournament? No, this is a local tournament. I don't think they. It's just a prize money, right? It's not like official tournament. When are the highlights going up? This is stuff. Now I'm working on the Bautista Gut, the video, the part 2. So after that, I'm gonna start making the video. Okay, and the next one. Okay, sorry. Many people here. She's a Chinese. As Nadal said, you need a defeat to enjoy the victory. Definitely. Obviously, yeah, that's another thing. You know, I always had these moments in the career where you have a very tough match and you play good, you're happy with your game, but eventually you lose. And before, I remember after those kind of matches, I was feeling pretty good. I was not like sad or disappointed or nothing to regret much, you know, if you play good. But now it's a little bit different because I knew that, you know, I had to deliver my very best if I want to have a chance to win. I feel I played on a high level, but I felt that I could play even better, you know. So, and I'm not like too satisfied. Okay, I reached the final of this tournament and played a close match. It's not what satisfies me totally, and I'm actually happy for that because this is something I also wanted to work on. It's kind of that mental approach that you're not satisfied with a decent result, but you want to go to the next level. I think this is what it takes for many players to kind of have that click and kind of break through and accept that they belong there. They can play on a higher level, you know. So I've been trying to think in this way, and I was reading also a lot of things about it. I think it's something that everybody has to work on. It cannot come naturally. You need to almost kind of convince yourself. Obviously, you have to do a lot of work, and the confidence can come through the hard work that you're putting in, and then you kind of believe that, you know, you should be there, you deserve to be there. But also, it's kind of proactive confidence where you choose to think in that way. So you can also work on that mental side of gaining that confidence. So I think that's important. I think you're very fortunate to be able to play here in Mexico. Yes, 100%. That's what I said as well. I'm super grateful. You know, it feels amazing. They even said they're going to organize another tournament in a few weeks. So looking forward to that. What made you become a coach in China? That's not related. I just came here because my friend uh, forwarded me the offer for coaching job here. I didn't plan to come here, but that just happened. So now it's the connection broken on Instagram. Okay. But yeah, I came here because of that, and I wanted to see what it's like in Asia. I've never been here, so came here and I stayed here since then. It's been 4 years now. Okay, let's see. YouTube. What type serve do you use for your second serve? Great question. Actually, it's to the point, and I forgot to mention that one of the reasons why I felt my serve was on the totally different level this tournament is that I changed the way I was serving the second serve. Usually, I always go for the kick, for the heavy kick serve, you know, for the second serves. For some reason, even though this serve should be very safe in the super tight moments, you know, in the pressure situations, at least in my case, this serve kind of like tend to, I don't want to say break down, but I would lose the confidence and the feel. I would not be able to always make it, you know. And also when you're playing indoors, you know, the kick serve, it can be okay, but it's the slice serve, especially if it's the hardcore, the fast hardcore surface. The slice serve makes much more sense. So I literally served only slice serves. So first serve would be the slice or flat serve, and the second serve only slice. And doing the slice serves for some reason, and it made it much more consistent under pressure as well. So this is something to take away from this this tournament as well, and something that I will definitely apply in next tournaments. Obviously, when I play outdoors, I will mix the kick serves, and especially if you're playing the right-handed, and when you see the backhand is a bit weaker, that's a huge weapon. But at least under the pressure situations, I know that this slice serve is much more reliable, at least in my case. What is your favorite surface to play on? Used to be clay court. That's where I grew up. In Serbia and pretty much everywhere in Europe, the basic surface is red clay, and it's the surface where you can slide, you can play drop shots. It's definitely like so much fun to play. But for the last, I would say maybe, obviously here in China we have mixed courts, so I play on both clay and hard. But in US, when I was playing for college for Auburn University, we only play on hard courts. I didn't really like it back then, but I think since I moved here to China, and then uh, since I started also playing at the Masters as a hitting partner, I started liking the hard courts more. But I still don't mind. I like both surfaces at the moment. David. Okay. Yeah, I replied. So the grip I use um, the grip tape, Torna grip. Torna, I can show you. It's not to make the commercial promotion, but yeah, I'm not sponsored by them yet, but I'm gonna show it anyways. Torna grip, right? And I use this dry feel and XL, so it's a bit longer. And this is what most of the not most. I've seen many of the pros use that grip, and we used it also in US America. Sve okay, Adame, ne znam da li si još tu. I got a question in Serbian language. Everything is fine in China. Yes, it's getting back to normal slowly. Okay. Who was the highest ranked player you played before? The highest ranked player. I guess you mean like in official match. In official match, yeah, I think that will be one Croatian player, uh, Roko Karanušić, and he was ranked 88 in the world. But at the moment when I played against him, I think he was 300. So he was ranked 88 before that, right? So then the ranking dropped, and he was still playing. He was the second seed at the Futures tournament, and I won the first set, and then he retired. He was very very pissed off, but that was amazing experience. Could you talk about Magic yesterday? Many of the volleys that you do for. Yeah, Ian, thanks for that question. Actually, there was one amazing point. I don't remember what happened before, like what kind of shots. I think I was serving, and yeah, I came to the net. It was some crazy approach, whatever volley, and then he hit some passing shot. Everything happened so fast. I don't remember exactly. I just know that I went for that shot, like I jumped, and I barely, reached the ball with the racket, with the frame. It was so far, and then I was like falling on the ground, literally like on my like stomach in the front, and I was watching the ball. I was close to the net, and the ball hit the net, right, and I'm already on the ground, and the ball is like going on the other side, and he's kind of middle of the court, right, service line, and he's trying to reach the ball, and I'm on the ground laying down, and he's like trying to reach it. So if he reaches the ball, just put it over, but he cannot reach it. The ball bounced like second time, and I stayed there on the ground. It was like so lucky and fun, you know. It's like, and the crowd went crazy, you know. It was good. And then one more time was again I was in the net, and I don't know exactly again what happened. There was because there were so many points that I ended up at the net. He was playing some crazy passing shot, and this time he hit so fast I could not react properly. So it came to my backhand, and I just like literally turned like this, and then with the left, like some flick with the left arm, and then again net, and it went over the net. So got a bit lucky there. Yeah, Steven asked about the match yesterday. I think I played, talked a bit about it, so I don't want really to get too much into it. I think it's better when you watch highlights. I'm gonna also put some comments, but yeah, it was very tough match, very tough on the highest level. Again, when you play the player of this level, you know the first thing that comes to my mind is that obviously, well, before I talked to him after, you know, the only information I had about him is that he played the final, that he won the Australian Open juniors in doubles, and that he has some, you know, pro ranking around 800. So in my mind, he's like super fit, super prepared junior who is now starting to play the men's tennis, and he's like a beast, you know. And I watched him in the match before that, and that's how it looked. So I was preparing for the match mentally in a way that I have to play my very best. Number one, I have to deliver the serves, and hopefully can, you know, hold the serves all the time. Maybe look for chances for a break, but you know, since he's lefty and we're playing indoors and he's on that level, it's like I know it's very difficult. But the point is, I was preparing myself for a super tough match, and I knew that you have to be you have to be like on your very best every point, like at least on your serve. You know, I knew it. If let's say you start the game, maybe you make one double fault, and then the next game it can happen. He hits a good return, and then you're already in a big trouble. Like you cannot afford like one easy point. You know, like I knew it's gonna be like this, and this is on this highest level, especially when you have to rely on your serve so much. In my case, you know, it's different if I can work more on the returns and can feel more confident there. I'm sure this can be improved. Just takes time and work. But another thing is when you know the player, like in my mind, again, I thought he's now so much into these tournaments and playing all these matches, so he's super prepared. Obviously, this period nobody played matches, but still, I mean, he's in the whole thing, right? So mentally, for me, this is the toughest part to kind of accept that that you can actually play on that level, because when somebody has such a high ranking or had a big result, you know that he played so many matches on the very high level. This is something that it makes you a better player and tougher player, right? So if he played hundreds of matches, whereas I played only dozens or like 10 in the past 2 3 years, no matter how confident I get, that's the huge difference, and this is something that for me it's very difficult to kind of um, actually believe or accept that you can beat somebody who has been there and for played hundreds of matches on that level, like super match tough. And you know and I'm thinking that it's very realistic thinking, right? And so it's in my case it's not so much about just the ranking. Let's say if tomorrow I play a match top top 200 in the world, top 100 in the world, doesn't matter. It's not so much the number that for me it gives this like feeling of like I'm like overestimating the opponent. It's the fact that I know that in order to get that ranking they had to play so many matches, which made them super tough, in match sense, in the for that match shape, their match fit. So if I have similar experience and I don't have this ranking, it will be a different story. When you can have hundreds of matches on that level, you approach the match totally different way. Like I'm more prepared, so it's about playing more and in getting ready for that. So I think this you can also take something from that in terms of how you approach when you're playing somebody who's more favored. If you know that you put a lot of work there and you actually played and trained in the like for the matches, not just training, but you played those like you simulated the match play and you had a good level opponents. If somebody's ranked higher, it should not matter anything. It's just the fact that they got some results in those tournaments, but this is something that I was a bit struggling for this match. But I knew that indoors and in these circumstances, I have a chance. If I have a good day of serve, and yeah, I hope to be able to win at least one set and then look for my chances in a tiebreaker. But there was one break in each set. And then only after the match when we talked, and then he revealed the truth, which is that he hasn't played some matches for 2 years. Almost hard to believe because he played on such a high level. But definitely, he said he was doing the fitness. I could tell that, and he was taking this match super seriously. He was there earlier than me, already doing like finishing the warm up. When I came there, I got there like half an hour before the match to start my warm up. He was just finishing his like physical warm up and then started playing. So definitely like a total professional player. And yeah, it was, but still, it was a great experience. And then again, after that, when we talked, and he told me that he didn't play for a long time, and then he stopped actually competing. I was so disappointed because I thought he's now starting to play the futures. I mean, he won the Grand Slam in doubles. That means he's like very high level. He beat like top 10 in the world in his at his age. But then when I asked him why are you stopping, why you don't want to play anymore, he said it's just super tough, and he had so many matches playing against these very good players, and he gets very close, and then he always loses or he cannot go through, and then he said it's very tough, and then all these matches and playing so long, and I know very well it's extremely difficult in this beginning. And then even he asked me like, what is that thing? What is the difference when you get to this age, 16, 17? Um, how to make that breakthrough? So it was interesting that the player of that level is asking me this question, probably because he thought like I'm older, have more experience, and maybe the experiences I had with the pros and maybe with conversations with them. But my response to him was that there is no one little thing, there's no one secret for this. It's like many things have to come together. And then I told him, okay, you play great tennis, you have like good potential, you're lefty, like all this, you're you have weapons. He's not like a typical this Asian or Chinese players. He really has some weapons. And then you have these tough matches against good players, and then you're like not able to go through. It's normal, I said. And I said, in my opinion, it's like you have to have one match like this, tough match, close, you lose. Another one, tough, you lose. But the key is to keep going. And in my eyes, like the way I saw him at that moment was like that he was a bit weak in terms of he got tired of these losses, and then for him it was like, oh, it's enough. And then he's now coaching some like younger players and also doing some other things not related to tennis. Like he's doing learning some business, right? So it's all about the choices. It just felt like he didn't have maybe enough passion for it or something. I said, oh man, if I'm your age now and all this like potential, I would just like die for it. But yeah, the response was, I think you just have to stay more resilient and go through those moments. And like all the the pros, the best players in the world, they say like failure is not a bad thing. I mean, everybody, there's no, it's not a failure, when you lose in the matches. And you have to go through those moments, and the point is who can bounce back, who can use that as a learning experience. Almost final, but I feel you got to my first final, then quarantine. What? What does it mean? I feel you got to my first final, then quarantine hit. Okay. First line in the course. How the play feel? Okay. How can you dab? I don't understand the question. How prepared should you be before playing your first tournament? David. Um, yeah, it all depends on the level where you're at, but still, I mean, I would say you just want to be at your very best. I mean, the best, in the best shape you can possibly get. And I think for that, you need at least, well, at least 1 month, 1 month of really hard trainings and well planned. So if you want to make it shorter, like shorter period, you have to go harder, more intense. If you have more time to prepare, like 2 months, you can taper that. But I think you need to cover all these elements that I talked about. So it's endurance, quickness, strength, flexibility. These four are the core. How did you progress through Serbian level to professional? Journey, length, experience. Well, I don't know if you can say that I made the progression all the way through. But yeah, I mean, I was first playing at the just national tournaments, like juniors. For juniors, I got to the highest ranking was number 2 in the country. So for my age, it's interesting. At that moment, Novak Djokovic was ranked number 7 in the same category, but obviously he played more international tournaments, so he was not focused on the domestic ones. And then I slowly started playing the futures. I got the first point. I got ATP ranked when I was 18, and but soon after that, it was time for college. So during those 4 years, 5 years, I didn't play tournaments, I think. So, but yeah, it's very relative. What does it mean professional? I think once you start playing, and if you can live off the prize money that you're earning, for me that should be the definition of being professional. And I don't think I met that criteria, because playing the futures and reaching only like the first or second rounds, once quarterfinals of the main draws, you cannot really cover all the expenses. So, but it's or professional can mean that you do everything for that. This is everything you do. This is your biggest thing in life. That can also mean. But I think, yeah, it's tough to make that transition from juniors to the men's tennis. It's still a big difference. To meet with other tennis. You have to play tournaments. You have to play a lot of tournaments, obviously, and slowly you can get the networks. You can meet more people. I think Instagram is not working. So connection and Facebook also. It's very tough here. Anyways, I think let's get a haircut. Yes, I need to get a haircut. Forehead. Why? This is my style. This is my style at the moment. But yeah, I agree. I need to get some haircut. What should tennis players work on improving? What the most important thing to work on? Definitely the thing you can control the most is the footwork. So it's the fitness part, the movement, endurance, quickness, and then for the technique, obviously, I would say serves, returns, and then ground strokes, volleys. Literally in that order. I would put serves, returns, ground strokes, volleys. All right. So I went a bit longer than I expected, so I'm gonna wrap it up soon. Thanks so much, everyone. I just wanted to share this few thoughts after the tournament. It was quite successful, and looking forward to the next one, and definitely looking forward to all those videos. And I'm gonna hopefully get a chance in the next few days to edit them and make those highlights videos and upload here on YouTube so you can all see it and maybe take something from that. I'm gonna analyze them and put some comments. So yeah, thank you again so much. Hope you have a great Sunday and that you stay healthy, safe, and do some fitness preparation which is under your control, and then you attack. You go into attack for those first matches and tournaments. Good luck and have fun. I'll see you next time.